Welcome back to my channel. My name is Florentina, or Tina for short, and today we are going to talk about 7 ways that we sabotage ourselves and things that we need to stop doing, like now. So if that's something that you're looking forward to or you're interested in learning about, then stay tuned. Let's get straight to it. I've been doing a lot of reading lately, and the biggest thing that I keep reading is how people pleasing is actually a coping mechanism that we had learned in childhood. Oftentimes, when we were like in abusive situations or our parents were neglectful of our needs or whatnot. So, anyways, we picked up this thing where we do things so that other people like us, and that is a form of manipulation. People always can tell when you're people pleasing because it's an energy shift. When you naturally are good with someone, your energy is going to be here and their energy is going to be here. But when you're people pleasing, you're already putting them up on this high ass pedestal and you're already putting yourself down here. You're already trying to act like you're not worthy of love, attention, respect, boundaries, and all of that. Even though we're all born deserving all of that, you've already put yourself, or you've already been in situations where you feel like you aren't worthy of that, and you have to switch that mindset. Do not people please or change who you are for someone else to like you. If they don't like you or they don't give you whatever you want, you need to walk away and not make it about you and what you don't deserve. You need to say, okay, we just don't align. Examples of this is changing your favorite color, changing the type of music that you like, saying that you dislike certain people, being too quick to laugh at people's jokes, over complimenting people, always agreeing with them, avoiding conflict just so that they like you, and those kind of stuff. And what that does is it makes it, people can feel it, but it makes people feel like you don't value yourself and that you are insecure. People pleasing is just a form of manipulation so that someone can like you for the false identity that you are putting out. And when someone learns that you have been being fake just to fit in, lose respect for you, and then they kind of question everything and every situation or everything that you've said to them. It puts you in a position where it looks like you lied about who you are because you did. And it's just not a good place or a good look. So I would just not people please. When you find yourself people pleasing, you gotta be mindful of it and learn to turn it inward towards yourself. And you gotta think about like, well, why am I trying so hard to get this person's attention or their validation when I can just literally give it to myself? Number 2 is stop saying it's fine when it's really not fine. If you aren't telling people, if you're not learning to communicate with people when they've hurt your feelings or when they do something that you don't like and that you want them to stop doing, you look like a doormat. You look like you don't have any boundaries, you don't have any self-respect, and that you don't have any confidence. And that's not energy that you really want to put out into the world or even with your friends or your family, because the more that you allow, the more they're going to continue, and you don't want that. So if something bothers you, you need to communicate. You need to be honest with that person about how they made you feel and figure out if this is something that can be communicated with this person and talked through to see if this person or the situation can get better. And honestly, it is more than okay to lose a friend or a family member because you are sticking up for yourself and you're creating a boundary and you're communicating things. But if you just always say that you're fine when you're not, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's not going to happen. You're going to die and you're not going to feel good about yourself. And life is too short. You want to feel good about yourself, and you also want to be around people that can take constructive criticism and understand why you don't want something to happen or to continue. So you need to communicate why you're not fine. and you can't fake that you're not fine. So don't say yes to things that you know you already don't want to do. What that does is makes you later resent yourself and the person that already invited you out. And once you get into that little part of like resenting somebody and that situation, it's really hard to go back and to change it. So it's just easier to say no to that friend and show up for yourself versus saying yes to them and then getting mad and upset with yourself because you just reabandoned yourself and you didn't value yourself. A lot of the times, if you go do that stuff that you didn't want to do, you already have this negative energy around you and people can feel it, and you don't want to be responsible for that. At least I don't, and I've done that in the past, and it's just like, okay, I want to go home. It's not a cute look, and it doesn't make the other people around you want to invite you out again. An example for me is my sister was into drinking a lot and going out to party, and I would always go with her knowing that I didn't really want to because I wanted to live a healthy lifestyle. I wanted to lose weight. I don't like to drink, and I don't like fake friends. And I would always find myself around her and her fake friends and then wondering why I didn't feel good about myself because I wasn't staying true to my goals, my fitness goals. And then I was also around fake people, which brought in a lot of chaos and stress. So if I would have just said no to her and I would have hung out with her doing something else, I would have felt better about myself, but it later made me resentful of her. Number 4 is you cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. I know this one from experience. Where's my pen? I know this one from experience because I stayed with a dude that broke me in a lot of ways and made me feel like garbage about myself. And instead of getting rid of him when a lot of people told me to, I stayed with him thinking that if I can read all the self-help books or if I can listen to audiobooks and be more aware and be more conscious and learn for me not to react to how he treated me, then hopefully the situation would have got better and that we could learn together. And that is so far from the truth. It's so sad. But the minute that I told him that like, hey, I've given you enough time to change, I need to focus on me now, I literally feel like I'm such a different person because you can't learn all this stuff and then be with people that still don't help you apply the things that you've learned. So if I'm learning about boundaries and that person still's not gonna respect them, it doesn't do anything for you. You need to be around people that respect your boundaries and bring out the best in you. So if you think that you're gonna help this person heal and they're gonna heal you, you're in for a rude awakening just like I was, because you can't heal from people that have already hurt you because they don't respect you, they don't love you. You need to be around people that hold themselves to the same standard that you hold yourself. And if you don't hold yourself to a good standard, that means you need to change your standard. So just be around people that make you feel good about yourself and they are uplifting and supportive of you, not people that make you feel like garbage. And that could mean friends, families, or relationships, because yes, I just shared with you one situation with a relationship, but I can also say the same thing in certain friendships that I've had, or even certain family dynamics. Like you can't force people to change what they do and all of that. All you can do is change how you respond to it or how you react or how often you put yourself near those people. That was a hard one for me to learn. And I'm still learning, but I give myself so much credit because I'm not hanging around the same type of people that I used to, and I feel so much better about myself. So number 5, stop putting yourself down, even if it's a joke. Even if it's in a joking way, you're still putting that negative energy into this world about yourself. And when you don't have confidence, people don't respect you. It sets up the dynamic that your friends, your family, or whoever you're around think that they're better than you because they're so used to you putting yourself down. And when you put yourself down, other people are going to put you down too. And if you're jokingly putting yourself down and they are going to like put you down, they're going to use it as like a gaslighting thing too. Is like, oh, well, we were just joking. Like, no, you weren't joking. You literally called me fat after I've told you like I don't like being called thick. And now you're gonna play it off as a joke because you're always used to me calling myself fat. And it's hurtful. I'm not gonna act like that didn't hurt my feelings or that like I'm okay with you saying that after I've told you my boundaries. So don't put yourself down. Keep your standards up. There literally are so many other jokes you guys can make that don't center around you putting yourself down. Really sad because eventually, if you tell enough little jokes about yourself, like self-deprecating jokes, and you put yourself down, the more you're gonna start to believe it. And I don't know about you, but I've read that book from Mel Robbins, and I've heard a lot of people do audiobooks or whatever, but it's like give yourself a high five and then eventually you'll start feeling good. So whatever energy you put into yourself is how you're going to feel. So if you're putting negative energy towards yourself and telling you that you look like garbage, you're going to eventually feel like you look like garbage. So just put good energy out and don't put yourself down. Number 6 is quit building homes out of people. And what I mean by that is you guys always have to have different friend groups. You guys have to have different hobbies and different things that you like to do, because if you literally have one friend and you build your whole world around that one friend, or even a relationship, one person, you're going to become so engulfed in that person. So when they leave or they find a new friend, then you are going to feel so broken and misplaced and like betrayed. And you really don't want to set yourself up like that. You need to have multiple friends and different social interactions, because when people change or situations change, you can lose people at any moment. And the biggest thing is you need to love yourself and make yourself your whole world first, and then have other people there. You gotta be able to rely on yourself every single time when some shit goes wrong in your life. So why would you be handing that privilege or that responsibility or over relying on people when they can literally just leave you at any second? And no friend or relationship is going to be 100% there all the time. So it's just better off to learn to love yourself and learn to literally just rely on yourself than it is to rely on other people. And I know that sounds negative, but like I mean it in a good way. Number 7, and the last one, is stop trying to be perfect. We are all perfectly unperfect, and it's amazing. The biggest thing in this life is making mistakes. If you are so afraid of making mistakes and you want everybody to think that you're perfect, you're setting yourself up for failure. And if we don't make the mistakes that we need to, we're never gonna grow. Because I honestly feel when we make these mistakes, that's what causes a lot of pain and frustration and discomfort. I've never been in a situation where I said, you know what, I'm feeling great, let me just change a few things. No. Comfort brings familiarity. When you are in pain, you have to kind of sit there and wake up and say, you know what, that stuff wasn't working for me, let's change. And those are some of the biggest lessons I've had to go through, and I don't regret it. I love making mistakes. There's nothing sexier to me than when someone is authentic in themselves and what they've been through and the mistakes that they've made. And most oftentimes the mistakes that we've made are maybe kind of goofy mistakes, but they have changed us for the better. and or have changed a situation for the better and got us to wake up and smell the roses. And I don't know, I'm one for making mistakes because it means that you're doing something with your life and you're not just staying stuck. But yeah, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know which number you can relate the most to. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.